If you thought Trump couldn't get more obvious about being an authoritarian, I've got news for you. He's not sure about the First Amendment in the aftermath of the killing of Charlie Kirk. Trump was ranting about protesters. He was blaming them for everything between, violence and hating America. And he was asked, but don't they have a First Amendment right? They're protesting. And Trump says chillingly, dystopianly, terrifyingly, I'm not so sure.
That's a violent radical left group. Okay, go ahead.
I got peppered with a lot of comments for doing that. They still have their First Amendment right, though. They're still out there protesting. You've got an amazing team behind.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about the First Amendment, the cornerstone of the Constitution. Even the Second Amendment extremists talk about the First and Second Amendment. And Trump talking about protesters bothering him makes it really clear it's not only that deaths are more tragic when it's someone loyal to Trump. Trump is also making it clear that speech is more important when it is speech loyal to Trump. But when they don't agree with Trump, it's a problem.
And a woman, in many cases, women, you can see they're professional agitators. I had one the other night. I had 4 the other night, all in one group, total phonies. I started to scream when I got into a restaurant, something with Palestine. And I said, well, I'm doing a great job for peace in the Middle East. I should get lots of awards for that, right? With the Abraham Accords and everything else. But a woman just stood up and started screaming. And she got booed out of the place, too. There were a lot of people in the restaurant. I went there to show how safe, and it was safe. I mean, the woman is just a mouthpiece. All she was a paid agitator. And you have a lot of them. And I've asked Pam to look into that in terms of RICO, bringing RICO cases against the criminal RICO, because they should be put in jail. What they're doing to this country is really
criminal RICO for protesting. Now, I know many of you have, have written to me and you've said, David, the protesters Trump's referring to, it's Code Pink. Code Pink are like very anti-Ukraine. They defend China. They defend Russia. They defend totalitarian regimes. That absolutely may be true. But criminal RICO for protesting, for voicing your opinion, and you can go back and look at Democrats and Republicans. You look at Reagan, you look at Bush, you look at the other Bush, you look at Obama, Biden, Nixon. They all would have instinctively said, of course, everyone has First Amendment rights. Of course, that's the bare minimum. It's Democracy 101. But Trump can't even fake it. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, was interviewed by Stephen Miller's wife on her abortive new podcast. She's also not so sure about the First Amendment all of a sudden.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people? So
hate speech.
We show them that some action is better than no action.
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across.
Even Charlie Kirk has previously acknowledged that hate speech doesn't legally exist in the United States, that you've got ugly speech, gross speech, and evil speech, but that it's all protected by the First Amendment. Maybe the Attorney General should take a look at this little thing called the Constitution. So this is not, Trump's not being polished here. The President of the United States said he's not sure whether Americans still have free speech rights, and his Attorney General agrees. It's not a gaffe. It's not, he's being taken out of context. Trump and Pam Bondi are completely on the same page here. This is a window into what they think. This is a window into what they believe. And it is not happening in a vacuum. This is a pattern. He's floated suspending habeas corpus, imprisoning people without a trial. He's demanded loyalty essays from federal workers and potential federal workers, testing, would you be loyal to me or would you be loyal to the Constitution if it came down to it? He has called protesters terrorists. He's called for violence. In fact, he did it again yesterday. I'll play the clip later. And so it's the same story every time. You've got rights, sort of, but they're conditional. If you're with Trump, you get them. If you're against Trump, some of those rights might start to erode. And the process is unfortunately mirroring something we've seen in authoritarian regimes. You delegitimize your critics, you call them dangerous, you start to question, do they really deserve rights? And then you create an environment where punishing dissent, punishing speech is normalized and accepted. And we saw it under Franco in Spain. We saw it under Pinochet in Chile. We see it in Russia today under Vladimir Putin. And they start by asking the question that Trump is starting to say, do my enemies really deserve rights? I'm not sure about the First Amendment. What about criminal RICO for people protesting? And so that's not a democracy, that's authoritarianism. Free speech means their speech, and therefore it means very little. And of course, anytime we criticize them and we say, hey, maybe there can be consequences to speech, they go, oh, that's cancel culture. But the second anyone protests Trump, the Constitution is optional. And Trump is unfortunately just saying out loud what his supporters quietly believe. Rights are not universal. They are tribal. And huge credit here, by the way, for Brian Glenn for even saying in that first clip, but don't they have First Amendment rights? That's the kind of obvious test that reporters aren't asking enough. And when you corner Trump with the most basic first principle questions about American law, he fails. So this isn't a mistake. He meant it. And they mean this stuff. And throughout the show, you may be presented with assertions from these people. We're going to listen to Stephen Miller and others where you go, well, maybe they don't really mean this. All the evidence from the last 8 months is they do mean it. And if Trump is able to get away with this stuff, it really imperils democracy itself, where rights exist for Trump's loyalists and others risk getting silenced. So when people say you're exaggerating, X or Y could never happen here, remember that people keep saying that and then the stuff keeps happening. You would never see the streets militarized by federal troops. Well, we've seen it. And the president of the United States is saying, I'm not sure about free speech rights. I believe the guy. I believe him. And we've got to fight like hell to make sure that he doesn't get to actually put that into action. Many of us know all too well about the sticking, rubbing, and chafing that you can get with traditional underwear. Our sponsor, Sheath Underwear, have created unique boxer briefs with multiple ergonomic compartments in the front, which prevents skin on skin, and that means everything stays separate, comfortable, dry, and cool. You will have a boost of confidence when you're out and about. I've known so many people who were skeptical about those compartments, friends who say, I heard that ad for Sheath, what about those compartments? And then they try it, and then they're amazed at the comfort and breathability when they finally try it. You will thank yourself. Plus, Sheath has brand new materials like bamboo and mesh for even more cooling comfort. They will be the most comfortable pair of boxer briefs you ever put on. No more sweatiness and chafing and readjusting, especially at the gym. It's a lifesaver. Give Sheath Underwear a shot. I've had a great experience. I think you will too. Head over to sheathunderwear.com/Pakman and get 20% off with code Pakman. The link is in the description.